serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey, folks, and welcome to episode number 100.
100
of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of February 18th through 24th, 2019. My name is Tim Beeman.
And my name is Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe box. We are recording this episode of The Man Who Ate the Town at the Lab at Industry Hill. It is a repurposed building on North Chestnut Street in the old warehouse district of downtown Winston-Salem, what we now call Industry Hill. Our building itself houses a custom furniture company, a cool upholsterer that creates things you'll see all over town, a manufacturer of fine cloth and denim totes, purses and bags and things like that, and a musical creation station. And Industry Hill itself hosts a lot of cool things like restaurants, chocolatiers, breweries, entertainment complexes, a high-end stereo shop, and more.
And podcasters.
And podcasters find out more by visiting industryhill.com. So we will have a guest today, so I'm going to try to keep a lot of this stuff quick.
Yes.
I mentioned a few months back that Gray's was going to go through a change. Mm-hmm. Marriott and Hospitality Ventures Management Group, also known as HVMG, announced this week that the new restaurant is going to be called Butcher and Bull.
Butcher and Bull.
Which, while still a silly name, is better than Gray's.
Much better than
At least with this name, you can envision what they're selling and not picture some cud-chewing bovine and smell of manure. Gray's. Like we're all out of a bunch of cattle. Anyway, it's going to be a modern twist on an American steakhouse with approachable pricing, a lively atmosphere, and top-of-the-line service.
Approachable pricing? What is that? I can approach it. I can't actually achieve it, but I can approach it.
Yeah. I also worry about places that tout their top-of-the-line service.
You'd expect that.
It's like restaurants putting delicious or world famous on their menu descriptions. Mm-hmm. That's for the customers to decide, not the restaurant. You can say you will hear our guest say later today that he is going to, make sure that they put an emphasis on service.
Yes.
But he didn't promise us top-of-the-line service.
No, just that they would emphasize that it was important to them.
Yeah. Again, that's for the customer to decide whether it's...
We get to say whether he achieved that top-of-the-line service level.
Or the pricing that we were approaching.
Yes, that we're approaching the price.
Well, they lost us on the approach. Hype is good, but there's no basis for that. They're not even open yet, so we can't worry about whether they're going to hit the approachable pricing or top-of-the-line service. Open and be proud of the top-of-the-line service. You can't promise that you're not in a position to deliver it yet. I know I'm nitpicking, but that's just a peeve of mine. I just hate when people try our delicious hot dogs. How do you know? I mean, you are blowing smoke up somebody else's ass because it's your restaurant.
Well,
Let us say these are delicious hot dogs. I'm going to get to that in a minute.
And then you can say, my customers tell me they're delicious hot dogs.
Right. And world famous. World famous to who? This is the only place in the world that sells that you have, and you're selling this, and yet I've never heard of you.
Right. Well, I did send an order to Putin.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe me, I did.
And he really liked it. It was the best ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
He said it was the best he'd ever had.
Ever.
It was
the best.
Spectacular. It is marvelous.
It was ginormous and the best.
Chef Richard Miller, former Fire in the Triad winner, was the executive chef at Gray's, and he will be for Butcher and Bull as well.
Good.
There's no opening date announced, but Michael Hastings thinks that it will be in the spring. Marriott has set up a temporary restaurant on the second floor of the hotel until the Butcher and Bull
temporary restaurant.
Yeah, I think it's just so they can service the no, on the second floor. Yeah, come on in here. I think that's so they can service the restaurant more than the public. Because
service the restaurant or service the hotel?
Service the hotel. Yeah, that's what I meant.
The hotel.
Yeah, because it's
room service.
Yeah,
you want to have something
like
for your phone.
Yeah, I like I'm usually wary of talking about chains on this podcast, but I will.
Occasionally,
There's
you
a
have
new-
disparaged a few.
I have. Yes, I have been quite mean to them. I'll be honest. There's a new chain out of Florida called First Watch that has opened across the Stratford Road from Haynes Mall.
Mm-hmm.
This restaurant features breakfast, lunch, and brunch anytime from 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. daily. Restaurant's not open at night. It does not serve alcohol, which, why go, right? No, I'm kidding.
Not every meal has to have a beer, but, it's not a bad...
But the option is always nice. The restaurant seats 110 inside and 40 on the patio. It has covered parking in the rear under the building. They serve traditional breakfast, but according to Scott Crater, the former Village Tavern EC turned general manager of First Watch, will offer healthier options. I find that funny. Remember when breakfast was the most important meal? Mm-hmm. Now it's regulated to unhealthy status. I'm just being snarky. But according to Michael Hastings, again, the casual restaurant has an urban farmhouse decor with high ceilings and wooden tables and booths. The menu seems to be expansive and features things like avocado toast, hash skillets with egg and potatoes, gluten-free quinoa dishes, and more. They prepared freshly made juices every morning. They also have salads. I'm skimming down the menu a bit, but that's only because if I had gone through everything Michael Hastings wrote in that article, then it would have been an hour podcast just itself. So I recommend you read the article, or even better, just go over to First Watch. They're located at 1602 South Stratford Road.
I was pulling that up on the map just to see where exactly on Stratford.
Beside Adventure Landing.
Yes, I think it's where Mattress place it used to be.
Well,
of course, you could say
there's
that
still
about
a mattress
every building.
Place there. This is, I think, because on the Google Maps I looked at, it was construction.
Well, now Google Maps has First Watch Winston-Salem now open. If you put it in, it tells you that they're there.
Okay.
Haynes Furniture is next door to them as well.
Yeah.
So it's down on that end. And I will say there's a picture of there and they have metal chairs.
Is that good or bad?
It's ubiquitous now in restaurants. You're going to get these stool height metal chairs. Don't know why. I guess it's the trend.
Yeah.
I like my chairs more comfortable than metal, but you're not there for hours.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason.
Yeah.
It's their way of tossing salt, to get people to leave, to jinx it or something. So I do this for the bad reviews or the less than stellar reviews. I'm going to do this also for the good reviews because it's only fair. These are only opinions based on my experiences. As with any review that I post, I hope that you will visit the establishment and formulate your own opinions and views of the restaurants. No review is ever meant to be a means to denigrate or belittle the good work most of these restaurants are trying to do. This is an opinion of what I did or didn't like about how I saw things, not a reflection of the overall quality or vision of the company. Pardon the pun. Take this all with a grain of salt. Yes. So, I, along with fellow food folk, Michael Hastings, that I mention a lot, Tim Clodfelter, who is not necessarily a food guy, but he's an entertainment guy at the Journal and Relish.
Right.
Nikki Miller-Ka, who is a former co-host with me on the old podcast more than 100 episodes ago. Tart and Tangy Triad. And she's also the very first food blogger in town. And Carol Leggett, who is a food hype man extraordinaire, I've also mentioned on this podcast. So.
Right. You're going to talk about what you did last week, aren't you?
Yes, that you couldn't be there for.
If I hadn't had a previous engagement that I couldn't break, oh man, it was painful to see the amazing pictures after.
It was amazing while it happened, too. We went to Uncle Buzzy's, which we have talked about on the show before.
Yes.
And
for good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. We sat and tasted around, I don't know, 10 to 12 items probably. And these weren't small portions. I would maybe not have that many pictures, but we were going through some stuff. I joked at the end about someone putting me in a wheelbarrow to get me to my car. No one opted to give me the wheelbarrow, but it was good. I didn't eat again until midday Thursday. So I can keep telling you all this stuff, but let's get into it.
Tell me.
This is basically I'm not reading it word for word, but I'm paraphrasing my own blog post about this.
You're allowed to reference that material.
Yeah, it's mine. I can do it as much as I want. We had 2 different kinds of roast beef sandwiches. One was the Buzzy's Super Roast Beef, which is all their roast beef is rare roast beef, as roast beef should be. It was with Memphis barbecue sauce, lettuce, tomato, and onion, and American cheese as well. And it was delicious. I mean, their roast beef, it's cooked overnight, but still rare, but they still have to cook it. It's slow cooked overnight. Then we had I'd always heard of this and never had it, and no one could figure out what it was, but the beef on weck.
Oh.
So,
see, I noticed that you mentioned that it's a Buffalo area kind of thing. I've been to Buffalo. I've had the beef on weck.
Yeah.
Uncle Buzzy's is not what you get in Buffalo.
No. It's not. And Alan Miller, who owns Vin 205
yes.
and the Wine Merchants,
yeah.
and his wife owns Salem Smiles, is from Buffalo, and he tells Dave all the time, Dave Hillman, who owns Uncle Buzzy's and Quiet Pint and Burke Street Pizza, that this is not a true beef on weck. And he's like, I know this.
And I don't care.
And this is our interpretation of it. It's our spin. So instead of the actual horseradish spread on the sandwich, it's a horseradish cream spread on the sandwich, which I tasted it. It's delicious. The weck, people are like, and Carol could not figure out what weck was, and we kept saying, it's a bread. It's Kimmelweck is actually where it comes from, which is it's a Kaiser roll that's topped with kosher salt and caraway seeds.
Yes.
That's what makes it Kimmelweck and weck for short.
Now, I will say the Buffalo version, open face, same bun, but there's a gravy that's poured all over it. And Buzzy's is a little different than that. Now,
yeah, they use an au jus.
We've had that particular sandwich, and yes. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yes.
The roast beef was amazing.
So then he wanted to tell us about his hot chicken sandwich. And I'll admit that I had been there before, but the only things I've ever had was the hot dogs, the burgers, and one time I had the Chicago style Italian beef. All excellent. So the hot chicken came out because that's this new fashion statement in food right now, is this Nashville hot chicken sandwich. So this was theirs. And they use chicken thigh meat, not breast, like most places do for chicken sandwiches.
Right.
Which I think, and I'm a white meat guy. I like breast meat most, but it adds to the flavor of this. And the hot sauce was not
burning.
It's not burning, yeah. Although it's called Buzzy's Burn Sauce, but it's a mix of a couple of hot sauces, sriracha, and something else, and it's all mixed together and put on this. And
good kick, but
yeah,
not bad.
so the pickles and the mayo and stuff on there, the less tomato, that actually toned down the heat.
Right.
So that was very good. The flavor was great. The burn was not too much. It was fine. We also had the house fried chicken sandwich, which has Memphis barbecue sauce on it. When we first tasted, I said it tastes like a honey barbecue, which
that's more the Memphis style.
Memphis is kind of, it's not exactly a honey barbecue, but it's a sweeter.
It's definitely
barbecue.
sweeter.
Yeah. I will say probably someone asked me what my favorite thing was, and it was the real, they call it real in big capital letters, Philly cheesesteak. Now, People from Jersey or Philadelphia will probably beat the crap out of you, slap the crap out of you if you argue with them that this is a real Philly cheesesteak. However, in talking with online Chef Brian Duffy from Bar Rescue, who helped develop this menu with Dave and Sergio and Viri, he says the way the Philly cheesesteak should be it's actually, I have on my article 4, but he corrected me. It's 5 pieces of cheese. It's 3 pieces of American mixed in and then topped with 2 pieces of smoky provolone. And then you have the peppers and onions inside there, and then you have the big sweet cherry peppers on top. But you can get those to the side. It's not a problem. But I loved that sandwich. I have always been meh on cheesesteaks just because I don't know that I've at Geno's, I think it was Geno's or Pat's, one of the two, it may have been Pat's, I had a cheesesteak in Philadelphia.
Right.
I was not impressed. I'm like, okay, that's whatever.
But this one impressed you.
This one did impress me. So whether this is truly the real Philly cheesesteak or not.
Well, same thing about beef and wag. Is it the real one? It's their take on it.
Yeah.
And it's his restaurant. He can do whatever he wants.
That's exactly right. Plus, I like this better than what I had in Philly.
There you go.
So to me, this is the real Philly cheesesteak.
Well, and I'll say the beef on wag, you get a typical one anywhere in the Buffalo area. It's half the meat that he puts on his.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great sandwich, but it's not Buzzy style.
Right. It's like going to Boston for Boston baked beans and realizing I've had this better other places.
Exactly.
So then there was wings. Yeah, okay. They have wings. So you're like, wings. Anybody can do wings. We talk about wings. You'll hear us talk about wings here in a little bit. But these are big wings, and we had a debate, the flats versus bulbs conversation. I'm a flats person. Nikki's a flats person. Tim and Michael were bulb people, and I don't know what Carol said. He didn't even try these, so he might not even be a wing person. Speaking of Buffalo,
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to try 2 different flavors. We tried the spicy garlic wing, which upon looking at it, you're like, what is this?
It didn't look right,
but it tasted right.
Yeah.
It was great as far as flavor goes, and they were big meaty wings. None of this wimpy wing stuff.
I'm a flat wing one too.
Yeah, I'm a flats guy. It's easier to eat.
Much easier. And there's that little piece of gristle and bone that you get with the knobs that you don't get in a wing. Yeah. I'd rather have that.
On that. And then we tried the Korean Thai barbecue. And upon looking at them, it looks like just a regular like honey barbecue flavor, but no, there's an actual meatiness to the sauce itself. It's a Thai barbecue wing. There's that spice in there, like that Thai chili spice in there. It's something that really hits you. So I was really, really good with that. And you'd think at this moment, wow, all that stuff you'd be done. No,
there's so much more.
Yeah, there's so much more. Next, they brought out 2 foot-long hot dogs.
The pictures of those were astounding.
One was one they have on the menu all the time, which is the pimento cheese foot-long.
Right.
And these foot-longs actually fit the bun, so it's not like they dangle over, an inch on each side. These are foot-long hot dogs with foot-long buns. And the other was a BLT dog that was a special for that day. So it had the bacon, lettuce, and tomato, and had the slaw on it. It's not on the menu all the time, but it was quite good. Now, I have had this Chicago-style dog there, and I like that as well. I've had the foot-long, just build my own with what I usually get is, and people, yes, I put ketchup on my hot dog.
I do too.
So ketchup and mustard, slaw, onions, and relish. I'm not a chili on my hot dog kind of guy.
Depends on the chili. For me, it depends on the chili.
But I liked everything that I had as far as hot dogs go there, and I've had now 4 different kinds. I like
It's a
it.
good sampling.
Yeah. The burger came out next, and that's something that's become, for me,
A regular.
a bi-weekly thing. Once every 2 weeks, I'll go have that.
So you already knew the burgers, Ross.
Yes, and I do count that among my top 5 burgers. Now, someone did call me out and says, I want to know what the top 5 is. So once February is over, when we get to March, because I have a big project that's going to keep me busy for the next several days, 10 days, I'm going to compile my top 5 burgers in Winston-Salem, and that will not include Sorry Chin Chin, Sorry Burger Batch, and it will not include the gourmet burgers, because those, I think, stand in a different category. I'm talking burger, diner burger, good burger thing. It is not the gourmet burgers, because that's...
So you're taking my favorite out of the running then as well.
What's your favorite?
Food Freaks.
No.
To me, that's a gourmet burger.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when they get stupid on it, like, and I mean stupid in a good way, like Burger Batch or Chin Chin, where it's a statue. Yeah. It's more of a edible art than it is a burger. I want something that's going to fill me up. I don't need the Mona Lisa of burgers.
Yeah.
So
I'm not interested. Well, no, I'll just stop right there.
Yeah.
It's like, this is going to go down the wrong path.
I'm still interested in eating it. I just, that's not I don't want to count that in my top 5 burgers.
Yeah.
Because those would probably run away. And that's not, I want everyday burgers.
Okay.
That you can have every day, not one of those that you would eat every once in a while.
I would submit for your humble consideration, Food Freaks. That's
okay. Well, maybe next week we might hear something about that.
Yes, very much looking forward to that.
By this time I was starting to get full. and that's hard for people to believe that know me. And I have this beam and waste no food ideology. So, if it's there, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, the seafood diet.
Yeah, but this was pushing the limits of that.
All right, crew, open the second stomach. Repeat, open the second stomach.
All right, we're good. Bring me another plate.
Because at this point, we hit the carny aspect of the restaurant.
Yeah.
The first thing he brought out was the smoked mac and cheese.
I haven't had that, but man, that looked good.
So he tells us, he says, you can either get it just plain or we can put it with the 4-pepper cheese sauce. And we're like, well, 4-pepper cheese sauce. And there it comes out. And yeah, it was not my favorite thing, but I think that it was because I was running out of juice. I just think it was like, okay.
If you tasted it first.
Yeah, because the only thing I would have given it in this review was it was good or cheesy.
There you go.
And what else do you need to know about it? But it's, I can't give it an honest review. So that one, just
we'll take that out of the mix.
We'll take that. It was there and it was good and it was cheesy, but it was probably my least favorite thing of the day.
But let's clarify, it's your least favorite of a set of amazing dishes.
Oh God, yes.
So it's the least of the amazings.
Yeah.
So it's still better than just about anything else you're going to find.
True. So then we did give it one last hurrah for the deep fried desserts. We tried 2 different things. He gave us the option, and Nikki can't have anything with nuts, so she didn't want the Reese's, and I am a huge Reese's fan. So we got both. We got the deep fried Oreos and the deep fried Reese's Cup. And both of them came with what he called vanilla dip, but it's actually malted soft serve vanilla ice cream.
Ooh.
So it had a little bit of a malty flavor to it, but it was easy to dip. It wasn't like ice cream that you hit it and it just like nothing sticks to it. Yeah, it was good. I like the Oreo because I'm a huge Oreo fan, but I like double stuffed Oreos. I just like the lard in the middle. But
the sugary lard.
Yeah, yes. Was it Weird Al's version of the New Kids on the Block song? I love the white stuff, baby, in the middle of an Oreo. Yes. But the gooey, deep fried Reese's cup.
That hit every cylinder. for
Yeah,
you, didn't
you
it?
open it up and it's just like pulling apart. The peanut butter's in there and the chocolate
It's all
with
melty.
this sweet bread batter things that's all over there. Yeah, it
And
was
the ice cream on top.
and I would just drizzle just a little bit on there. Yeah, it was so good.
I'm gonna have to go by.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't eaten today, and I probably won't for a little while. But just talking about this is making me hungry.
I will say that I think I saw it on yours. Was the meat cone?
Yes, it was on my Instagram. Nikki wanted a meat cone. She wanted the pork meat cone, not the beef one.
Yeah.
And it came with gravy and other stuff, and they said it's not a sharer, but because once you get into it, you're just gonna have to eat it because it's a big mess.
Yeah.
And so what happened was they brought it out there, and she had all of us just grab a fork full to try it, and then she took the rest home, probably to Linnell, her mom. But yeah, it was.
That picture looked really good.
Yeah, and that was a video. I did the video for that.
Oh, okay. I missed the video. I just saw a photo of it.
Yeah. It was just a real short, like 7-second thing. We were just talking about, and I go, I'll forget what I said, like "Holy smokes" or something like that. But it was because it's huge.
Well, and the first time that I saw it on the menu, okay, did I see that right? Am I reading meat cone?
Yeah,
Really?
And
It's a
it's-
meat cone?
and it's a not quite hard formed waffle cone. So it's all this on a waffle, basically.
like a chicken and waffles, but this
Yeah.
is something different.
Yeah, but it's a cone, but they're not going to be able to fit that cone.
It's not the
around it.
crispy cone that you get with ice cream in it.
Right.
But it is a waffle that wraps around in a cone shape.
Yes, it wraps its lovely arms around that beautiful.
Lovingly embraces the meat.
Yes. So, Dave brought out Sergio and Viri, who are the people who do all the magic in the kitchen, and they gave us a tour of the kitchen, a brief tour. It was just here.
It's not very big.
No,
it's a tiny spot.
it's actually not as small as you'd think. Just looking at the window, you're like, oh, this is a small. But when you're back there, there's room to move. However, it's not the largest kitchen.
Yeah.
It's
Nor
about
is
the
it the
size
largest
of
dining room.
no. There's very little seating, but it's not designed for you to sit there and eat. It's designed for you to take and go.
Yeah.
And that's what most people do. But I want to thank Dave and Chef Duffy and Sergio and Viri for just a fantastic. That was one of the best tastings I've ever had. I felt really crappy afterwards, but no one really goes in there eating like that. That was what we did. He said, well, I expected you just to take like a bite and pass it on. I said, there's nothing getting wasted when I'm around.
Not with this much good food.
That, and I was drinking a schload of cheer wine too.
Oh, well, yeah.
So that was adding to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much thanks to Uncle Buzzy's, and I recommend everyone, in my disclaimer, go and try them for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Just use me as your guide. It was well worth.
My
the time.
experience
And
with
they're-
them has been the same, and it's just I have been pleasantly surprised. You pull up to this tiny little building, psychedelic color scheme, and get your buzz on here.
Yeah.
Great, love the way they've packaged the building. Again, it's not the place you're going to sit down and have a meal, but go grab it, find your favorite spot to sit down. Yeah, it's a great little place, and I've never seen anything quite like it, ever, anywhere.
Yeah. No. And as I said in my article, and as I said on this show before, you know, when I realized before they ever opened that the draw was the carnival aspect, the carnival food aspect,
Yeah.
that's actually not even a third of the menu.
I
It's-
was surprised by that as well. Once you see the full menu, there's a lot of choice there.
Yeah, and it's good food. It's not just deep fried carny food. So it's they do have that, but that's not what their focus is. Good sandwiches, good food, good burgers, good hot dogs.
I think it's fair to say a very generous portion on all of those.
And prices are
Very
really
reasonable.
good. Yes, absolutely. They're approachable.
Yes. Dare I say cheap for what you're getting?
Oh, yeah. You're certainly for what you're getting. Yeah.
Maybe inexpensive, because I don't want to give the connotation that the food is cheap, because it's not cheap food. It's high quality.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good, great stuff. So
I think some of the initial word that got out was that this was a carny food place.
and that scared some people off. We had a discussion with Dave sitting in this round table. It was literally a round table, even smaller than this one.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, and Carol said, I think that turned a lot of people away at first, but that's why it's our job to quell that, dispel that rumor, and that it's not. It's actually good food, and it's not something that's not necessarily artery cloggers all the time either. You can get good stuff.
Yeah.
So
definitely worth a taste. Go by.
Yeah, they are located. I have this in the article. Let me pull it up. I want to give the right address.
Well, they're on First Street.
They are on First Street. They are they're nestled right between West End, West Highlands, and Ardmore.
Yep.
It's right there, all in the corner.
It's basically the intersection of First and Hawthorne.
Yeah.
A couple doors down from the old First Street Draft House.
Yeah, it's actually right next to that. And the old where the dance studio was. They're actually Dave owns that building, and they're ready to do something with that too.
Are they?
Yeah. So
interesting.
We don't know what yet. He wouldn't divulge, but something. Well, I don't have that address. Just go down. You'll see it. It's bright colored and open flashing. So
I was going to say, if you drive by that and you don't see it, you fell asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. We also tried the new Asian barbecue and grill, but I'll save that for another show. I think I have to really think about how I want to approach that review. But yeah, so we went there Friday night.
Saw the pictures on that and thought, it looked good.
It did. Again, well,
since it's been open now for a couple of weeks, we've been thinking that's a place we need to go check out.
Yeah. And our friend Sharitha works there part-time.
Does she now?
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, we actually saw her. Whitney, your wife, said that toboggan that I found might be hers.
Yes.
That night, she was there. It was hers. It was in my car. Passed it off.
Yay. Happy ending.
Transaction. Happy ending indeed. Happy foods ending. So, all right. Well, we're going to do our getting in your business section.
Loving
segment.
What's coming.
Yeah, so we're going to introduce you to our friend Brantley Norris, who is from Yamas Mediterranean Street Food, and we're going to find out more right now. All right, well, we have with us today, we have Mr. Brantley Norris, who is the general manager of Yamas Mediterranean Street Food. Is that what it is?
Yes, it is.
What constitutes...
We have a guest in the studio.
What constitutes Mediterranean street food?
So, like we were talking about earlier, Mediterranean, it does encompass the Greek aspect of the food, but the reason we went with the Mediterranean street food concept is just because when you come in, we'll build you a sandwich or we'll build you a bowl. And so it's going to be really simple starting off, but you'll start off with, your pita bread if it's a sandwich. You're going to go down, you pick your sauce, pick your protein, and then we've got an incredible amount of toppings. And then after the toppings, you pick your sauce and grab a drink and go sit down, or you can grab it to go. And that's one thing that kind of entails with the street food. We're going to be a really fast-paced casual restaurant where people can come in and hang out for hours if they want to, because it's going to be a safe spot. It's going to be a place where people are welcome to do that, and we're going to be solely focused on customer service more than anything else, other than the food, obviously. But it's going to be a place where if you're on your lunch break, you can come down. We have a grab-and-go section. We've got a self-order kiosk, so if you need to skip the line and just do it to go, you can do that real quick. So street food, whether or not it's meant to be out of like a street truck or something like that. Some people think of it that way, but really stop by. We're on the side of the street, grab it and go. And it's all Mediterranean, so Mediterranean street food.
So what kind of sauces? Of course, there's tzatziki sauce, but beyond that, what else would you have?
Yeah, and something that's really going to differentiate us, we will have, tzatziki, we will have hummus, we'll have baba ganoush, and all the stuff that you expect, but all of ours has a little flair to it. Our recipes are really special. So like instead of regular hummus, we have tahini hummus, which is going to give it a sesame flavor because it's made with sesame seeds. Instead of regular feta cheese, we have a feisty feta mousse, and so it's made with red peppers and feta, so it's got a spice to it. Our tzatziki is actually going to have... We have a regular tzatziki cucumber, but it's got more cucumber in it than most. And then we'll have the baba ganoush is my favorite. It's a white chocolate baba ganoush. Yeah, and baba ganoush is made with roasted eggplant.
Yeah,
and so
that's the only way I like my eggplant. Really.
Right, same here. And so I actually, when I heard white chocolate baba ganoush, I was like, okay, we'll see. And then I got to taste it, and I was like, this is a game changer right here. So, other than that, the only other one we have is harissa yogurt. Harissa is an Arabic pepper that's really, really spicy, and it is a spicy yogurt. So, but the cool thing about all of these sauces are gluten-free. A lot of them are vegan, a lot of them are vegetarian. So that's going to be another thing we're really focused on hitting, and that's going to make us more popular for that, all the healthy eaters down there.
I did just a touch of research on what kind of constitutes Mediterranean food, and there are a lot of health benefits to it. Compare a Mediterranean diet in general.
Right.
So is that part of y'all's thinking?
Absolutely. It not only is it a niche market that we're trying to exemplify, I should say, but it's it is healthy eats. Everything we have pretty much is gluten free. The only thing I can see, I'm looking at our menu right now. The only thing that's just not, obviously other than your proteins, the feta cheese, and that's just not going to be vegan friendly. But there's a sign next to everything on there. But all the healthy eats, that's going to be. That is to answer your question. Yes, it's one of the biggest things we want to push forward because even in my family, I have those that are gluten free or those that have IBS or different issues. Just with they can't go to a Mexican restaurant and just order anything off the menu because almost everything has cheese in it. Yeah. Or you can't go to a Chinese restaurant because it's got too much MSG in it, or whatever the case may be. Whatever your specific stomach issues are, you can get around all of that here because you're creating it from scratch. It's all exactly what you want. So it's almost like a Chipotle or a Subway or something like that. You're getting to build your own and avoid those things you don't want, but be able to eat the things you do want in moderation,
And set up so that it's quick in, quick out if that's what you're looking for.
Exactly, yep.
So what proteins will you have?
We will have the traditional gyro. For those of you that don't know, it's just a concoction of lamb and ground beef.
Yeah.
That will be on a traditional spit in the cone, so you will see people shaving it, yeah, and putting it in. So we'll have an actual traditional gyro. We'll have chicken souvlaki, which a lot of Greek places for some reason don't have, but it's a very familiar thing to Greek eaters. We have dolmades, which is just rice that's wrapped in grape leaves. We've got beef kofta and pomegranate braised lamb as well. The beef kofta and the pomegranate braised lamb are a little bit more special. They're a little additional charge, but it's definitely worth it. And then we've got falafel fritters, which are completely gluten-free, and that's literally just made with chickpeas and herbs. And then we've got a fig and pistachio chicken salad as well that's served cold. But those are all the proteins on the menu.
I don't need you to tell me exact prices, but what price point are these things?
All the favorite meals, basically, if you're going to build a sandwich or build a bowl, it will be $8.99 is what we'll start out. So all of them are pretty much going to be aimed to hit under $10. Now, obviously, if you want a beer, we can add that in. If you want some wine, or if you want baklava cheesecake or our cookies or something from the grab and go section, it'll add to it. But if you're going strictly for just a meal, it'll be $8.99 plus tax.
I'm sorry, did you say baklava cheesecake?
Yep, baklava cheesecake. We'll have house-baked cookies and rice pudding as well.
Well, that sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting stuff.
So, $10, under $10 is the sandwich. Are there any sides or anything to go with that?
Mm-hmm. We have options for sides, and we've got it two different ways. So you can get sides that are basically add-ons to your meal, and you can also get extras to go along with it, or you can get stuff from our Take Me Home section, and those will be to-go sides, to-go toppings. So we have spanakopita, which is a spinach pie. We have a yogurt mac and cheese, seasonal vegetables. We're going to have pita crisps with one spread that you can get, regular pita crisps by themselves, extra pita bread, falafel, seasoned fries, which everyone is really excited about, and then Mediterranean fries, which is our seasoned fries with a feta cheese and a garlic cream sauce on them. Yeah, it's going to be a big seller. Any extra toppings on a meal is going to be $1. Tomates are $1, and I believe that's all of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this was originally, the thought was going to be a Waldo's downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, thank you that it's not a Waldo's downtown.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's not. But what was the reason for the change?
They were going to go with the Waldo's downtown, and then it was kind of sort of like
some a-hole on a podcast said there's no reason to bring more wings downtown.
That was exactly what it was. He said, "You know what? Get on Tim Beeman's show and talk about our new restaurant." No, it was going to be a very similar. It was going to be the exact same thing as Waldo's, but then he started talking about differentiation, like we were talking about earlier, and also they had not, because for those of you who don't know, Yamas is owned by the Michael Family Restaurant Group. So rather than just owning Yamas, they own Chin Chin Burger Bar that opened up in 2016. That's downtown. They also own Waldo's Wings and Mama Zoe Michaels.
Yep.
And so their vision for this restaurant, for Yamas in itself, has been going on for over a year now. A lot of people have been saying, what's going on in that, where Skippy's used to be? We need, what's that restaurant? And so it's finally coming of age, but it's because they've put so much thought into every single little detail. Chris, the owner, he's from Cyprus. His wife, Zoe, her family's from Greece as well. So they really know what they're talking about when it comes to the ingredients and the recipes, but they really wanted it to be special for every customer. They wanted every customer that comes in to to absolutely connect with the store. All the pictures that are hanging up in there are canvassed home photos, and so you can literally go in and see the bike that Chris rode around Cyprus when he was shopping in the market for his dad, or you can see, the family members out in Greece holding goats, walking around. There's a story behind every picture. And whenever they came up with this whole idea, they were like, there's nothing like this in the area. We have Greek restaurants all over the place, but there's no Mediterranean street food places or just Mediterranean places in general. Whereas if you go down to Charlotte, there's places down there that are just blowing up. And so I think they really just wanted to differentiate themselves. And then when they decided, we're going to go with what we know the best because it's our heritage, it became really special to them, and that's why it's taken a little bit longer, but it's just that much more special.
You just want it to be right.
Exactly. We want from the get-go. We want no problems. So
yeah, because I remember I was one of the ones that, do we really need more wings downtown in this town at all? And the history with me and wings is I came this close, and listeners can't see how close this is. But
pretty close.
It's
very small.
It's
yeah.
very small, from buying the original East Coast wings.
Okay.
Before it franchised into the huge thing that they are. So my thing was, okay, there's enough of those because they've blown up to ridiculous amounts. I mean, I'm proud of them, but come on. And we have enough places downtown that do serve wings. Now, they're not specialty wings or nothing like that, but it is wings that they serve. So then it didn't come, and I did reach out a couple times before, and no one answered me. They just said, "Oh, we're working on it."
Right.
I get it, but finally, I went by and saw the sign, and I'm like, "Come on, somebody, please talk to me." And
you just weren't reaching out to the right person. That's
right. I didn't know to reach out to you, but
Glad to have you here.
yes, but I am glad that it was a change of the original idea.
Tell me, you've worked with these people for a while now, right? You know them personally.
Right.
Would they have brought the passion to Waldo's that they're bringing to Yamas?
I know you want me to say no, but they would have. They are fully all in on any of their
Would it-
restaurants and their
would it have been
ideas.
as personal?
I don't think it would have meant as much to them
Yeah.
because they would have still been looking into the future down the road for this specific restaurant. But that being said, I'm just incredibly lucky that they decided to change their minds ahead of time.
Right. And yes, exactly. So not open it and then within a year change it to something else,
Right.
which is basically what the people who bought Skippy's did. It wasn't even a year that they were open, and they're like, okay, we're done.
That was
and,
sad.
And on the note of Skippy's, I did want to say, we have the old Skippy neon sign. If you walk into Yama's and you turn around and look back above the front entrance, we have all the old peanut cans that they have up there, and we have a few different things just in his honor. You know, there's an old sign that like says Skippy's and has an arrow and points, and then there's another one that just has a bunch of handwritten notes from customers to Mike, and then there's that Skippy neon sign that's just at the top. We did want to pay tribute to Skippy's and to all the people who loved it.
That's
Yeah,
really
because
special.
there's a lot of people saying, you know, man, we thought it was going to be a hot dog joint, and you know, as much as we would have loved to do that, we want to bring something different, and so we said we understand that, but we also want you to know we're paying tribute to Skippy's because it was such a big deal for everyone.
There's enough places to
That's
get
a great
hot dogs, too.
True.
So,
Yes.
again,
But that's still, he had an impact on downtown for years.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people.
well, he had
really
an
loved
impact. He had an impact on the people downtown, not
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was shown whenever in 2013 or 14, whenever it was, that people came out and spent $111,000 to help him with medical costs.
Right.
Yeah, that was an amazing thing to watch our community come around one person. So I really appreciate the fact that y'all honor that.
Absolutely.
So you guys are also you have the additional space as well, what used to be the photography studio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because that was another thing. Skippy's was great, but there was no
Small.
place to sit.
Yep.
And even when the people who owned Skippy's last were doing that, it took them well over reasonable time to open that other part, and I believe that's probably what threw them off the edge. But
Might have been, yeah.
but yeah, because it's a great space.
Oh, absolutely.
It just needs to be utilized. So I'm glad that that's happening there. But again, I was so glad. And there's a couple things that I always scream for on this podcast. One is ethnic food, and this is ethnic food.
Right.
Another thing is different than what I can get at 14 other
yeah.
places. Not only in town,
You're
but
hitting on all
downtown.
cylinders.
Yeah. So this is just
what we wanna
great
hear.
because yes, you're getting you're hitting something that we don't already have. That's not, this nouveau Southern crap that people want to shove down our throats. Yes, we know we live in the South.
Right.
We don't need you to tell us
Well
that it's
aware.
Southern food. I don't go to Mexico to have Mexican food. I go to Mexico to have food.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't need to be reminded that I'm
I
in
know
the
what
South.
pimento cheese is.
Yes, and there's nothing pimento cheese at your place, right?
No.
I
No
love pimento cheese,
No
but
pimento cheese. Absolutely not. We got feta, and that's about it.
all
Now,
right.
you mentioned earlier that you're going to have beer and wine. Have you nailed that list down? You have any idea what you're going to be serving?
The wine list we're still working on. We know for a fact we will have Commandario wine. It is one of the oldest wines. But as far as beers go, we will have probably 3 domestics, which just include Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, maybe a Corona, so I guess technically an import. And then
It's made here.
fair enough. Okay, so yeah, I've had that argument with so many different people.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
bartend, and so I just pick your battles,
Mexican style.
Right, exactly. And then we'll have a few Mediterranean style beers. So we'll have like a Greek beer and a Spanish beer, probably one more. We'll probably have 6 beers, and then we're still working on the wine list, like I said. But that will be it, just beer and wine, so no liquor.
So no local beers.
No, and that was another thing that it could change down the road, especially with Foothills being 4 doors down from us, and good friends of ours. But as of right now, no local beers. So, and that was one thing we dove into because it was like we argued over we discussed should we have these domestics at all, or should we just have Mediterranean style beers, or what? And we finally came to the conclusion: you're gonna have people that come that want domestics. You're gonna have people that want to come try different things too. So, but
Well, my idea of that is you should force them to try new things.
yep, exactly. Give them no other option. Well, another thing we will have as far as drinks go, though, other than just our specific Pepsi products and our beer and wine, is we're going to have 6 different fountain drinks up next to our actual fountain. So we'll have a rose lemonade, a limonada, a chamomile tea, a mint green tea, and then an unsweetened black tea, and then a cane sweetened black tea. So we will have, and those will all be the same price as just a regular, but that's going to be something that also differentiates us because they're really, really good.
Are those all you can drink, or is it
free refills?
Okay.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Everybody else wants to charge me extra to get a refill.
Now, one thing I will say, we will not have water on tap, but we will be selling water bottles for 49 cents or 47 cents, I believe. So it's just another, basically, if you buy a drink, you will get a cup for it. Don't come in and ask for a cup for a water. We'll give you a water bottle at a very cheap price, but that way we don't have any water buyers drinking any of our lemonade, So
Right.
and that just takes care of that problem to begin with. So
that's good.
You mentioned Foothills and friends. So what has been your reception from other downtown businesses and restaurants?
I think most of all, it's been very positive. Anybody that realizes that, yes, we are, I guess, technically competition, but we're also bringing more people to the area. That's really what I've seen so far as reactions from everyone go. I've had a few people ask a couple questions like, how much seating do y'all have? And they've been concerned, if you will. And I said, well, we've got plenty. We've got, 65, 70 people at least just in that front room. And they said, well, I didn't see it. And I said, well, you can't see the conference room we have in the back. You can't see our basement that we have downstairs, that we have options for seating. So it's a lot bigger than it looks. We can't wait to get it open to show people from the public, from downtown, just to let everybody in, look at it. But yeah, like Foothills, we share a dumpster with Foothills, and they're great. They've been awesome so far. Anything we need, let them know. Anything they need, they let us know. So overall, it's been a really positive experience down there.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I was hoping that was going to be the case.
No, absolutely.
It's just nice to hear.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie to you either. I wouldn't lie to either one.
Good.
So what is the prospective opening date?
Right now, we're looking at March 11th for the opening date. I have not officially posted that anywhere on our Facebook page, simply because things can happen.
Oh yeah, this is the restaurant industry in this town, which
Right.
means that you post a date with the knowledge that it probably will be 6 months past that. Let's
So-
hope not this time. But.
Exactly. No, it will not be 6 months, I promise that. I say March 11th, but we are aiming for the middle of March somewhere. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be mid-March sometime.
Are y'all going to try a soft open or just open the door and go for it?
There is rumors that we will be having a soft opening. I'm not sure as of right now whether or not we're going to be doing invitation only, or if it's going to be we're going to post about it on our Facebook or put an article out or anything. But
I'm going to be honest, if you're having a friends and family night, I think there are a couple of podcasters that would like to be there.
y'all are absolutely, we're best friends now, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
okay.
right.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you want us to fill the place up, we got people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We would love that. I will make sure you two make it to the soft opening. Don't worry about that.
Just hearing what y'all are doing, I would love to. Would love a chance to taste it and see what you're doing.
No doubt.
here.
I'll definitely keep in touch with y'all and make sure you make it to it.
How would you describe the atmosphere that y'all are creating? We can't see it yet. So
Right. I would say it's very modern. It's very green as far as environmental goes. It's very sustainable, but it's also, like I said earlier, it's a safe place. The number one thing that we're focusing on is superior customer service. We want every customer that comes in, like I said, to feel a connection. We don't want anybody to feel pressured to come up and say, what is a hero? Or what they're going to say, what is a gyro? And we don't want to make anyone feel dumb. We want to be there to help, to give knowledge, to inform, and hopefully to give them something new to learn, because like you said, what makes it different, it's going to be, the way I always see it is, this is my form of ministry, because I'm a Christian and this is a huge way to give back. Like use my strength for ministry. And that's our owner, Zoe. She says the same thing. She says, this is our ministry. We're not necessarily shoving religion down people's throats or anything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't come eat here if you're a Christian. We want, black, white, gay, straight, bisexual. Come see us. Come eat our food. We would love to talk to you and hang out. But that being said, this is a ministry. This is how we want to serve others. And so there's a really humble ambiance of the place. There's everyone that is working with us so far. They are fully invested. They are fully ready for it to open. They're just most excited about the people that are coming, because we want to see those smiling faces. We want to answer questions, and we want to hear feedback from everybody. So
I have to ask this.
Yeah.
You're not going to have like religious scriptures and stuff thrown about the place, right?
And that's why I didn't lead off with the because you gotta understand, my father's a pastor, so I grew up a PK, and I know what that entails for some people. I had a guy earlier say, "You're a PK? You were a bad kid, weren't you?" So like with all the stereotypes.
And the answer is yes.
Yeah, it's of course. Yeah, no, but with all the stereotypes that surround it, and I don't want to shove it down anybody's throat, and I won't. But, if you ask me to pray with you, I will. Yeah. That kind of thing. So
that's what Ray says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer in it. And like I said, my dad's a pastor, so I know a lot of people say, well, you just grew up that way. But really, we're the same as everyone else. And so if someone was to come in and expect us to shove religion down their throat, it's not going to happen. But if you, like I said, if you want someone to talk to, somebody to pray with you, come let me know. We'll sit down. It's not a big deal at all. But we want to be there for the customer more than anything else. We want to be at their complete service, full attention, always. So that's our number one goal. If that answers your question, is that customer service aspect of it.
What does Yamas mean?
Yamas is Greek for to your health, or cheers, or to our health. And actually, Chin Chin Burger Bar, Chin Chin in Italian means cheers or to your health.
Yes.
So that's actually going to be our greeting when people come in. When they come in, we're not going to do a whole welcome to Muzz, but it's going to be just a simple Yamas, because it's cheers to your health, to good health in general. And then when people leave the cash register, they should hear Yamas and enjoy your meal, or Yamas and have a great day, because that's how I'm signing my emails now. Yamas, Brantley Norris, because it's just like a cheers.
So when people come in, they're not going to have to sit down first, then come up to a register and order their food, and then go find that seat that they were sitting at earlier?
Absolutely not. No, we'll have a...
There's a couple of restaurants, or one in particular that does that in town, and I think that's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah.
I know that it's big in other parts of the country, but not this part of the country.
Right. Yeah.
It's confusing.
It's confusing, and it takes away from the flow of the place, and I want to go to where it's convenient, easy, and affordable, and good.
Absolutely.
And so far, it sounds like you're meeting all those things.
For less than $10, I can be in and out, have a great meal, and back at my office
before your lunch break's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
And that's what we want. That grab and go aspect's really going to be a big game changer, but also the catering, the delivery, all that's coming down the row. So
now, you said you had a conference room downstairs, or a basement downstairs?
Yes, and originally we were going to use it for dry storage, and we still are. We're going to install a big cabinet down there and kind of have different racks of stuff. But eventually, our thought process was, if it was too cold, or if it's raining and we have people that are just standing because there's nowhere else to sit to eat, and they want to go downstairs and eat, we will have a few options of tables down there. It's not going to be a normal spot that we send people, but upon their own preference, if they're like, oh yeah, I don't mind going down there, then they're more than welcome to. It's fully up to code and everything. It's just now fully finished out, so it's going to be exciting. And then we're eventually going to have patio tables out front and out back.
Nice.
So where hopefully we can get a sidewalk extension. We're still talking to the city. So Winston, if you're listening, please approve that. So that way we can have the extension into the fire lane since we have a broken fire hydrant in front of us. And
You would think that they would listen to us as much as we bitch and moan about them.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah.
Or at least someone listens to you and informs them whenever you talk about
Come
them.
on, somebody spread the word.
Mayor, here's your weekly update from the Man Who Ate the Town podcast.
And the bad thing is he knows me.
Yeah.
Well, they're really listening
Here's
this
the
week.
update from the Less Desirables. Here's the one from the Beer Dads.
This is episode 100, correct?
This
It
is
is.
episode
Oh man,
100.
that's a big. Woo woo. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm glad I got to be featured on that one.
Yes.
That's a big honor for me. So
You're very special.
That's
I
right.
appreciate it. Yeah, you saved the best for the one.
And Yamas
Exactly.
for that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yamas to you too, sir.
I have something new to say to someone. Yamas. They go, hey, why are you cussing me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
You can fill them in and say, no, it's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
All right, so let's go over some information. Location,
624 West 4th Street, Winston-Salem, 27101.
right there, 4 doors up from Foothills,
Yes, sir.
which
So
means
a
you're
couple
close
doors down
to.
from TW Garner.
Yes. Oh, you're directly under them, too.
Yep. Right next to Corks, Caps, and Taps. Yep.
Yes. And the design archives and,
Yep.
footnotes.
Oh, yeah.
And bookmarks, so all that is right there. There's a lot of stuff to go see, so you have no excuse not to go down there.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So you
Yes.
you can do all that. You can get your beer if you want something that's local. Go to Foothills, get your beer. Go have your meal at Yamas. Go back, have a cup of coffee if you're waiting for that.
Oh,
And
Footnote
it's
is great there.
Yeah, every Friday morning, Ray and
Yep.
I are sitting there.
Yeah, I grab a coffee every morning now. It's really good over there. So
Okay, where can they find you on social media and the web?
okay, so Facebook, we will just it's just Yamas Mediterranean Street Food, just like it's spelled. The website is still under construction, but it will be eatyamas.com. So www.eatyamas.com. It's not up yet. It's under construction. It should be up within the next week or two,
Okay.
at the latest. But yeah, Yamas Mediterranean Street Food on Facebook, and we are still hiring. So if anybody's listening and you're looking for a job opportunity, come see me. I'm always there.
What kind of job opportunities are you looking to fill?
So we have, if you want to get technical backline and frontline positions, but everyone is being labeled a team member. So we're all equals. Everybody's going to be treated, the same way. We have a few managers, but other than that, it's going to be pretty much everyone's going to hold their own, and we're all going to be kind of fighting for the same team. We're not paying minimum wage. We're doing more than that. We want employees that are going to invest in us, and we're investing in them. So frontline, to go, line cook, anything like that. We're really looking for hospitality. We're looking for people with background in serving or bartending or country clubs, resorts, or even just regular Chipotle or just anything like that. But as long as they've got the umph,
The attitude.
yeah, they've got that humble, or that humility, I guess I should say, and that that's what we're really looking for. We want somebody that cares about the customer, and so, but those three specifically.
Okay.
Eventually to delivery drivers too, but not yet.
Okay. Are you going to go with any of the services, Grubhub?
If we do, it'll be outside of downtown. We've got a radius of what we're going to do delivery downtown, and then we might do Uber Eats or something like that if it's really popular and people are wanting it, all the way out in
Would
Montrose.
this
or something
would
like
this classify as in your radius?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be about.
This
I'm
is
still
still
getting-
technically downtown.
I'm still
We're in
getting used to
downtown
the-
until we get to
Was it down to Northwest?
down to Northwest Boulevard.
Yeah.
And all the way down to Renolda Road and Renolda Road there at Northwest. So all the stuff at like Hoots and all that stuff.
That's similar. We have a similar circumference right there.
Yeah.
Our radius would be basically all the way out to Baptist, all the way out to Wiseman. We have a few different spots, but we'll definitely bring you food over here. We'll bring you some.
That's good for Tim to know, since he's been known to be here late.
All right.
And frequently you don't have time to go get it.
That's right. So, like today, when I'm done with this, I have somewhere else to be, but I'm like, I don't have time to eat today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, having the option to have someone bring me something affordable
Right.
is always a plus. So.
But you're going to need to figure out, what do you like? Because you've got so many options on these sandwiches and the bowls, and I'm predicting that the average person is going to have to make multiple visits to truly be able to say they've sampled the entire flavor profile.
Oh, yes. And that's what we want, for sure.
You want people to come down multiple times a week.
Yes. And then for those that are not as familiar with Mediterranean or Greek style food, we do have a favorites menu. For those Mediterranean virgins, if you will. They can go down the list, and we have sandwiches like the traditional gyro, falafel fritters, chicken souvlaki, fig and pistachio chicken salad. These are all sandwiches that have preset recipes. So that way, if you really would like to try it out, but you have no idea what you'd like to try, you can just pick one of these, and they, whoever's making it for you will know exactly what goes on it, and then that way, it's kind of like a menu at a regular restaurant that you can pick, and it'll come out with whatever you want on it, but it does have a set ingredient list in it already.
And that's the kind of stuff that'll be on the grab and go.
No, not necessarily. We'll have like pita chips with different flavored hummus that's packed up. We'll have different hummus packages that have vegetables in them. Some have pita chips in them. We'll have different market items like olive oils, and we even have an olive oil soap that's on there. We've got all kinds of different drinks like kombucha and stuff like that. It's going to go in the grab and go. All these sandwiches or bowls, any of the favorites, they would be made behind the line just like going through and making your own sandwich. But basically you would go up and say, I just would like the traditional Euro favorite. And then they would say, oh, okay, we know exactly what goes on that. And they'd go and they'd put tzatziki, lamb, beef, seasoned fries, tomatoes, and onions, and then you'd be done. So that way you don't have, it kind of takes away all the pressure of deciding, oh my gosh, there's 16 toppings, I can only pick 8, what am I going to do, or whatever the case. So that kind of just helps people decide for themselves. A lot of people like decisions to be made for them.
Well, yeah, make it real simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they just want a package deal. Say, okay, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I like to custom make stuff.
What I'm also hearing you say is that what you're preparing isn't the kind of stuff that can be pre-prepared and sit there for a couple of hours before you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work that way.
Nope, and it's the kind of thing that it's going to be so fresh that our hummus will literally be made in the morning, because in order to make hummus, you have to soak the chickpeas overnight. So there's going to be a lot of, our prep people are going to be getting there at 5 in the morning. And they'll be working until we open. Yeah, and then when we open, they will be going home for the day because they'll be there that long beforehand. So everything will be made fresh.
It's like those biscuit makers at Hardee's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were up at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Biscuit master or whatever.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for me.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want the listeners to know?
I think we covered everything. I think we covered all the bases, but I am so thankful for y'all having me on here. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, grateful to have you here.
Absolutely. I'll come back anytime. And I'll bring some food next time because we'll be cooking it at that point. So.
Oh, yeah. I like that idea.
Yes, I think you may be a part of the regular cast.
Yeah. How about this? I'll come back in a month and let you know how we're doing. And we'll have another one.
Yes.
Good.
So,
actually, that would be cool.
And then we'll let you know how you're doing.
Okay, yeah. You can give me your professional opinion, and then I can take the criticism and go change the menu for whatever you want. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah. No, says no one ever to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Tim. Now, go home.
Now go away, or I shall taunt you a second time.
That's right. You have to get that Monty Python in everywhere.
I love it.
Somehow.
Well, Brantley, thank you so very much, and we look forward to trying Yamas.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Mediterranean street food in the very near future.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yamas to you.
Yamas.
Yamas. All right. Well, thank you, Brantley Norris from Yamas Mediterranean Street Food. We can't wait to
I'm
try
very excited to get them open.
So let's now move into the irrelevant named days that doesn't really matter to anybody. But
except for those of us who enjoy
who just like
picking
making fun of it. So today is the 18th of February. It's President's Day, National Drink Wine Day. Today is, remember we had this discussion, Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Now, I did find out that this is actually to honor children who have fought or who are fighting a battle with cancer. So it's a day for awareness for that.
Okay, now that just changes the entire perspective, does it not?
Now we can go back to making fun of just ice cream for breakfast day. This
Yeah.
is eat ice cream for breakfast day. So February 1st was ice cream for breakfast day. They didn't have anything cool attached to theirs.
It's just promoting ice cream.
Yeah.
But this is, hey, if you're a kid and you're dealing with cancer, then you know what? Let's have ice cream for breakfast.
Right on.
Okay.
It's also, so now we can stop making fun of that one.
Yeah.
But there's plenty more.
Just
like,
that one.
Like crab stuffed flounder day, which is
No.
today. Yes.
Crab stuffed flounder day.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of like really passe at this point?
Yeah.
There was a day in time that maybe we thought that was cutting edge, but crab stuffed flounder is, I don't know, maybe that's cafeteria food now?
Yeah. It could be.
Could you see the chef at Willow's making that?
They don't do a lot of flounder because really flounder is not a delicate cut of fish. It's just one of those. Okay, we call it flounder and put it in some batter and breadcrumbs and fry the hell out of it.
It's good then.
On the 19th of February is National Chocolate Mint Day. In 1847, on the 19th, the Donner Party is rescued after being snowbound in the Sierra Nevadas. Almost half the original 87 members died, and some of the survivors seem to be well fed considering the ordeal they went through. Cannibalism itself is not a crime, so charges were never brought. In 1903, on the 19th...
And what kind of... No, sorry. You were talking about chicken earlier and your favorite kind of chicken, and my mind went somewhere. Okay, now, where were we?
In 1903, on the 19th, Tsingtao, China's first brewery, was founded by German settlers. So it makes...
Germany brings that to China.
Yes. On the 19th, in 1906...
Wait, 1903 was the first one in China ever?
Yes.
Wow, they're behind. They're way behind.
That might be why Tsingtao is not that great.
And it may be why they're so uptight. Maybe they need more of these breweries to be opening.
This is true.
Just saying.
I'm sure there are now.
But to think the first one was just 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, I'm sure they did stuff, but this was the first
Official
brewery, yeah.
Okay.
In 1906, Battle Creek Toasted Cornflake Company, what we know as the W.K. Kellogg Company, was founded by Will Keith Kellogg to manufacture breakfast cereals, in particular, cornflakes. In 1913, Cracker Jack begins to put prizes in each box.
Loved the prize. I always went for the prize first.
What was your favorite prize?
It didn't matter.
The little tattoo book?
Yeah, the tattoo books. Yes. Oh my God.
Or
I forgot about those.
the magnifying glasses, or...
I could start fires with those.
Yes. There you go. Burn ants.
Yeah.
On the 19th in 1985, Cherry Coke was introduced. Actually, soda fountains, if you remember those.
I do.
Had been making them for decades, but
Yeah.
this was the first time they packaged them pre-made.
Right.
On the 20th, it's National Cherry Pie Day.
Okay.
In 1703...
Is it also then National Warrant Day?
I'd planned on singing that song, but...
Were you? Okay.
Yeah. R.I.P. Janie Lee. On the 20th, on 1703, Mount Gay Estate, Barbados, began distilling rum. It is the oldest existing brand of rum in the world.
And they did that 200 years before the Chinese had beer.
Yes. Speaking of firsts and oldests, or the oldest still remaining, in 1829, Yuengling Brewery opened in Pennsylvania. It is the oldest brewery still operating in the United States.
But that doesn't mean that there weren't breweries before that.
Oh, yeah,
It's
because...
the still operating piece that qualifies things.
Yeah, and this is a lot of contention because their symbol is also an eagle, like Anheuser-Busch, and Budweiser doesn't like it whenever that people use the same thing they use. But
They did it
Yuengling was
first.
using it first.
Yeah.
In 2009, Hershey's, the world's largest, or the largest U.S. candy maker, closed its candy factory in Reading, Pennsylvania. The factory produced, among other things, the Zagnut, York Peppermint Patty, and Fifth Avenue candy bars. Production was moved to their new factory in Monterrey, Mexico.
It's the day the candy died.
The 21st is National Sticky Bun Day.
Say it a word.
In 1931, on the 21st, Alka-Seltzer is first introduced in the United States by Miles Laboratories.
So what it really fit.
It combined aspirin for relief of headaches, fevers, and body pain, and bicarbonate of soda to neutralize stomach acids and settle the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes it fizz.
And it tastes nasty, but it works.
I actually don't mind it. I don't have a problem drinking it at all. Okay. I like seltzer water though.
I'd prefer it cold and slam it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna sit there and sip it like a $100 whiskey, but
It's such a nice bouquet.
yeah, it's a bouquet of crap. On the 22nd, it's National CSA Day. Do you know what CSA means?
No.
Community Supported Agriculture. So community farms.
Yes. That's a very good thing. There's a day I can be behind.
It's also National Margarita Day
Yeah, baby.
and Cook a Sweet Potato Day.
Really?
To which I say no.
Unless it's something you're doing at Sweet Potatoes.
Yes, cook at Sweet Potatoes is good.
Yes.
Cooking a sweet potato, I don't care. On the 22nd, in 1630, Quadaquina, an American Indian, supposedly introduced English colonists to popcorn. He had brought some to their first Thanksgiving dinner. In 1893, Quebec declares beer of not over 4% alcohol is a temperance drink, making it legal. Yeah. And
So
in 2000,
that was during their prohibition time?
yeah,
Yeah.
which was before ours.
But, I mean, seriously, for it to be under 4%? That sounds like some of those domestics we don't want.
Yeah. 2005, Winn-Dixie filed for bankruptcy reorganization. On the 23rd, it's... Okay, here we go.
You knew this was
A
good.
couple of these are okay. National Banana Bread Day.
Okay. You got to do something when they've gotten too ripe.
Yes. International Dog Biscuit Appreciation Day.
What?
Yeah.
Internationally, we're going to appreciate
Dog
dog
biscuit.
biscuits.
It's Ebbets Field Memorial Day.
Okay.
That's where the Brooklyn Dodgers played. It's National Sword Swallowers Day.
Along with the sticky buns, I am not saying a word.
It's also National 30-Hour Famine.
30-hour famine. Okay, there's something behind that.
Okay. So it's February 22nd to 23rd and April 26th through 27th of this year. Students in the U.S. and around the world unite to learn about hunger, raise funds to help the hungry, and then go hungry for themselves, or hungry themselves for 30 hours. So it's a teaching thing. I say raise the money, and I'll just imagine what it's like to go hungry. I don't want to do that.
You know what? Y'all raise the money. I'll eat the food for you.
That's right. I'll eat it just so you guys can go hungry.
But now, have you ever gone an extended period of time without eating? On purpose or otherwise?
Hell no.
I think it's good
Do
for
I
us.
look like that I've
Well,
gone-
I don't look like I've missed many meals either. There's something to be said for learning what it's really like to have to go hungry. If nothing else, it keeps us sympathetic with the folks that experience that frequently.
Yeah, I mean, I can be sympathetic and offer help, but I'm not going to do it on purpose. There is no reason why I need to do it on purpose. I haven't eaten since 8 o'clock yesterday, and it's killing me.
PM or AM?
PM.
So why are you not eating today? Just haven't?
There's a couple of reasons. One, I don't have time, and two, it's just not in my budget right now.
Yeah.
In 2009, on the 23rd, Donald Crabtree opened Grandview Topless Coffee Shop in Vassalboro, Maine, where the waiters and waitresses serve their customers topless. I've never tasted topless, so I don't know what that would taste like. Excuse me, can I get a cup of topless?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still open. That was 2009.
They were open then.
They were quite open.
I'm sorry. It just, I feel like I would say something I shouldn't say if I'm in a place where I'm getting coffee and there are naked people in front of me. Okay, not completely, but, halfway naked.
You see a problem with that?
When she asks for 1 lump or 2, I'm gonna...
Would you want milk with that?
Okay, we're going off the rails. Coming back to the man who ate the town.
Yes, on the 24th of February, it's National Tortilla Chip Day. And that's all I have, National Tortilla Chip Day for that day. Although there is something local that's happening on the 24th. That's Sunday. From 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., West End Cafe is doing their spaghetti dinner.
Oh, okay.
To benefit Humane Solution Spay-Neuter Program. It's $12 for adults, $8 for children, 12 and under. And that's cash credit only.
Or no checks.
No checks. Okay. At first I'm like, what else would there be? But because it's a charity, they,
And the farm animal barter day is not on that day either.
No, right. I'll trade you this goat.
So, I can get a meal for this goat.
I can make this goat a meal. So they are going to have meat and vegetarian options, and there will be takeout available as well. For more information, contact 336-723-DOGS. That's 723-3647. Or info@humanesolution.org. That was truly breaking news because the general manager, John, just sent me that while we were talking.
Oh, so, great. Good deal.
So, yeah, good. I want to thank James Ehler for the food holidays, if you want to call them that, and
Thanks,
history
James.
for this week. He's at foodreference.com. The less desirables. We are a part of the Less Desirables podcast network. The Man Who Ate the Town is. Along with this podcast, you can listen to The Less Desirables, The Beer Dads, Fan Interference, and Apartment 5B.
And you should.
You should. You can find all those podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com.
tldnetwork.com.
tldpodnetwork.com.
Podnetwork.com. Don't forget pod.
Don't forget pod. So let's talk about our sponsors. From what I can tell, because I had people that were at Delicio's for their Valentine's Day extravaganza. They said it was quite marvelous.
Had a big night.
Yeah.
That's great.
2 seatings. Great night.
That's fantastic.
They completely sold out.
Great.
Yes.
I love hearing success stories like that.
Yep.
We have another sold out success story that we'll get to it.
Right. So 301 Brookstown Avenue is the go-to Italian restaurant in town. Tony prepares dishes from his native Napoli. It's hearty and delicate, delicious dishes that whisk you away to the eateries of southern Italy. They have a great beer and wine selection.
There you went. Now you're in Italy, listening to The Man Who Ate the Town.
in Napoli. They're open 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and their website, which is delicios.com.
That did not sound like Pavarotti.
That's right. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook.
There. Now you've lived up to your nickname.
Washington Perk and Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. And go in there, pick up you some Wolfie's custard because, you know, even though right now it's a little chilly, it will get warm again.
And ice cream is always a good choice.
Yes.
I mean, it is going to be eat ice cream for breakfast day. You should have some custard.
That's right. Go get some and take it and put it in your freezer. And then when it's time,
you're ready.
Pick up your eggs, milk, cheese from Homeland Creamery, a cup of Larry's Beans coffee, chips, peanut butter, bread, napkins, hot sauce, and so on. They have a wall of beer and wine and a deli that makes tasty, affordable goodies every day. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store and not quite a grocery store. Again, they are 301 West 4th Street on Facebook, Washington Perk, and on Instagram, Washington Perk _DTWS. The Humblebee Shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown.
That was our other sold-out success story.
Tell us about that.
She had nothing left after Valentine's. Sold out everything she had made. That's just, I love to hear things like that.
Yeah. She was talking about that too. She goes, I didn't expect to run out of the stuff. And then she was like, okay, well, I did. Great for me.
Next year, make more.
Yes.
Actually, by next year, make twice as much.
That and take special orders so you know what you're going to need.
Well, she talked about that she didn't want to take special orders because frequently as special orders, they want it different.
Yeah.
And that one-off takes her a little more time.
Well, limit that. Don't allow special orders, just pre-orders.
Yeah. I want 2 dozen of your macaroons.
I mean, for my Less Desirables party, they had a limited menu.
True.
So just say, okay, for if you want to this is what I'm offering for Valentine's Day. Put it in your order now. And pay for it now.
See, that's the other thing. People, if they're going to pre-order it, they want a discount.
No. Don't offer that. If they want your stuff bad enough, they'll pay full price.
Well, we go back to that wing conversation that some of the places, I know East Coast does this, where you have to reserve, I want X number of wings for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you a time that you can come by and pick it up.
Yeah.
When you're in demand, you're the one that sets the supply.
That's right. That's right. So, everything in there is carefully crafted and made 100% from scratch. Humblebee Shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch made, leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram, and visit thehumblebeeshop.co, and that's SHOPPE.co.
And really, check out the Instagram. Some of the stuff that she added out there, even today, just gorgeous. Just amazing what she's doing.
And then the stuff that she makes, too. She's gorgeous, and her food's gorgeous.
Yeah, on top of that.
Yeah. All right, well, keep an eye on the blog and the podcast. We're sorry this was a little bit longer today than normal, but that's okay.
We're not sorry. We're happy we had good content.
Indeed. We want to thank Brantley Norris again for coming in and talking about Yamas.
Great guy. Really excited to hear, not to hear it, but to see it, to taste it for ourselves.
Yep, it'll be good. If you have any food news or happenings around town, please let us know. Tim@themanwhoatetown.com or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, instant messengers. Just hit us up.
Speaking of, can't say anything official yet, but had a great conversation earlier today. We'll tell you about it next week. National story happening right here in our backyard. Very
like
exciting.
Literally in our backyard.
Literally.
In our neighborhood, in the Industry Hill neighborhood.
It is in the Industry Hill neighborhood. And just outside of the Industry Hill neighborhood. That's all I can say for now. I want to tell you everything, but we have not been cleared yet.
We're embargoed right now.
For the moment.
Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man Who Number 8 the Town. Excuse me. And on Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. My name is Tim.
My name is Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Yamas.
Yamas.
And bon appetit. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.